Years ago, when I was doing Andy Kaufman, I learned how to meditate, and it's been very valuable. It's been around for a while, but I mean, I think on a widespread level, it's being picked up by everybody now. It's being understood as something more than some kind of religious, nutty thing. It's a system of teaching yourself how to get into a state of relaxation that affects your entire life and the quality of your life. And I do it. I've done it for a while, and I recommend it highly.
We talked about mindfulness as being, as much as we pump iron and we run to build our strength up, we need to build our mental strength up. We need to build our mental strength so we can focus, get one-pointed attention, and so that we can be in concert with one another in times of need. Mm-hmm. When you come off the court, you've had a bad call, things going wrong for you, you sit on the bench, you take a breath and you reset yourself. You reset yourself. And you do that through this mindfulness. You just come right back in and collect yourself. So we practiced mindfulness, is what you have to do.
So you would literally have the guys sit in stillness.
That's right.
Meditating.
That's right. Taught them how to hold their hands, mm-hmm. where their shoulders had to be, the whole process of being in upright situations so that you're not slouched and you're not going to fall asleep. And they bought into it.
Would you do this before every game? You would do this regularly? You would do this?
We introduced it, and we introduced it in training camp. And then day of games, we started using it. And it ultimately became a process where...
It's like centering yourself.
That's
centering,
right,
yeah.
Just getting back and being centered.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
And I understand also that you're into affirmations and meditation.
I am, very much so.
How's that changed you?
A lot. I just feel like we all operate, and we don't even realize it, on such negative thoughts all the time. Mostly what goes on through our mind and our subconscious is negative. Yeah. Like, I could have done this better. Oh, I'm so dumb. I said stupid this. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how we think all the time. And I never thought about how I think. And then when I started paying attention to my thoughts and changing them and saying, you know what, thank you for sharing that, brain or spirit or whatever's going on in there, but you know what, I am doing good, I am better, I am trying, and redirecting those thoughts to be more positive thoughts and affirmations like, me and my children are always healthy, we live a joyous life, things like this every single day really help redirect me from the beginning of my day, and it's hard to do. But sometimes it just, out to the universe, I accept all the good things the universe has to offer. You know what I mean? Just things like that every single day just help you to start off your mind and your day in the right way. And it helps, you know what I mean?
At this point in the season, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Usually before the sun comes up, I offer myself to something greater than myself. If it's for 1 minute, 20 seconds, or 10 minutes, I at least stop in that space in my house every morning. I have a little meditation space where I just go. I have beautiful spiritual readings there. I light my 3 candles there, daily word or something. And I express to this greater energy field than I that I don't want to be alone as I move out into the world.
I meditate every day. And I do it in the mornings, and I do it for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I think it's important because it sets me up for the rest of the day. It helps me. It's like having an anchor. If I don't do it, I feel like I'm constantly chasing the day, as opposed to being able to be controlled and dictate the day. Not that you're calling the shots on what comes forward, but the fact that I am set and ready for whatever may come my way. I have a calmness about whatever comes my way and a poise, and that comes from starting the morning off with meditation. For me, it's really just listening to my inner self. I mean, that's basically it. Like you sit in silence and you just allow these thoughts to come forward, and you get a chance to observe the self and things that may be lying beneath the surface that if you don't have that time to sit quietly on your own, you'll never pay attention to. Because if you think about it, like, the reality is we're paying attention to so many things that are going on around us. We're constantly taking selfies, we're constantly taking pictures to post on Instagram and all these other things, and we're constantly observing everything that's around us, but we don't take the time to really observe what's going on inside of ourselves. And that's what meditation is for me.
Do you meditate, John?
I used to meditate a lot. Now I'm more big into visualization.
When did you used to meditate?
Right around 2010, 2011, I went through this huge spiritual thing where I became obsessed with the power of the mind, and I got into it deep, like really deep, just meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief. And so right around 2010, I just took myself to this different mental level where I took myself from being an average Joe. So I took myself from being very average-minded to actually believing that I was the shit, and believing that I could be the shit and that I could be the GOAT and be the greatest and never lose. Into, like, I took myself to a different place mentally, and a lot of it came from mental practice and meditation and visualization and just seeking knowledge from people who are strong believers, guys like Les Brown and Tony Robbins and guys like that. I just became really obsessed with just learning about the power of the mind. So I used to meditate. Now I just kind of, I have a lot of things that stuck with me, a lot of ways of believing that stuck with me that just subconsciously I know who I am, what I'm capable of, and how I believe, and how powerful my mind actually is.
I've been meditating, doing TM for about a year now, and so they have, thank you. So I learned about it. Russell Simmons was on my show, and through Russell, he told me about it, and then Russell Brand. It was a month, we had Russells on, all Russells all month long. But anyway, so I learned how to meditate. I've tried to meditate before, and the breathing and all the other stuff that when I did yoga, and I was always opening my eye, and it was like a minute later, and I was like, oh, how am I gonna do this? This is just impossible, focusing on the breathing. And so when I learned about TM, which I'd heard about it, and I'd heard so many people, I was very impressed by the people that I learned that they did TM, and I was like, well, they're interesting people, and there must be something to it, and I thought I'll try this, even though I'm not good at meditating. And something about TM, it is the only time I have that stillness. It's the only way I've ever been able to sit long enough that I open my eyes and I'm sad that it's 20 minutes later. I actually love, and I never had that feeling before, late at night alone at an ATM machine, but that was not safe. But it does, it gives me this peaceful feeling, and I just love it so much, and I talk about it as much as I can on the show without sounding like I'm preaching about it. But I am here really I can't say enough good things about it.
So for the last few years I've been practicing meditation, trying, and it's difficult to describe the effect it's had on my life. I can only mention maybe a few words: calm, clarity, a balance, and at times a recognition. And it's made a difference.
I'm Dr. Deepak Chopra, and I'm going to speak about the benefits of meditation. Notwithstanding, there are thousands of studies on the health benefits of meditation. But because meditation takes you to your core consciousness, it also awakens dormant potentials in you. So you're more open to possibility. You're less a bundle of conditioned reflexes and nerves that's triggered by people and circumstance into very predictable outcomes of behavior and reactivity. You are more creative because you're more unpredictable, and you recognize the power of conscious choice making and the power of intention. And therefore, meditation is one of the means to fulfill the 4 goals of life as they are understood in the ancient tradition of Vedanta. So the first goal of life is dharma, expressing your unique skills and talents, but also aligning the elements and forces in your body with the elements and forces in the universe, because you're made up of the same stuff. And when you do that, you have health also. Health is called swadharma. It's an aspect of dharma, health, well-being, to be in alignment with the elements and forces of the universe. That's the first goal of life. The second is artha. Artha means material abundance, abundance in all its forms, including money and success and fame and fortune. Vedanta is not apologetic about being successful. It says you should make a lot of money and use it for good purposes. That's called artha. The third is kama. You're probably familiar with the word kama because it's related to Kama Sutra, which means pleasure. Kama Sutra is, of course, about romantic love and sexual pleasure, but pleasure in all its forms. We are a physical body that likes pleasure. Of course, in moderation, because if we have addiction to pleasure, then that leads to exhaustion by itself, and then we become addicts. But pleasure in all its forms, in relationship, in sexuality, in relationship with our parents, with our peers, with our professional colleagues, and ultimately the pleasure we get in our relationship to the divine source of all creation, cosmic consciousness, if you want to call it that, or God, if you're ready to embrace that word. Kama, relationships. The third or fourth thing is moksha, which means freedom from the conditioned mind. So you can express your freedom to create, you can express your power of intention, you can experience synchronicity, and you can go beyond all conditioning into the field of infinite possibilities and become a co-creator with the elements and forces of the universe itself. So those are the four goals of life: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And meditation allows you to fulfill those goals, to find fulfillment in your life.